And we are back here on a rainy day 2 here at the Asia Oceanic Ultimate Championships. We have a pool play game in the mixed division. Manley out from Sydney, Australia versus Kappatai, who are a Japanese team with players from all over Japan, Jonathan.
That's correct. And interesting, Kappatai with a win-loss record of 1-1. In day 1, they lost. They won actually a narrow, a universal point against Hong Kong, who was playing earlier today, and just today lost 4 points against Wisby Nation. So looking to bounce back from that. And on the other side, Manley, right, lost the game against Wisby Nation today as well. A little bit a huge margin against Ghana, so they're looking to get their first win in this tournament as well.
Right, so Kappatai is 1-1 and Manley is 0 for 2,
that's
right?
correct.
Right, and so with the mixed division here, tell us about the pools and how they're going to progress.
Right, so like in terms of the mixed division, correct? They're all a pool of 4 pools, and they have 5 teams in those pools. Right, and the top 2 will go straight to the playoffs. So each win moving out here is a must-win if you want to have in contention to get in those top 2 spots for each pool.
Yeah, so basically top 2 in your pool or you're out. So
correct.
Really high stakes here in the
exactly.
pool play. No second chances. So Kappatai starting on offense. Looks like a zone, and you can see Kappatai work through the holes of the Manley defense. They've collapsed pretty quickly to match, and just as well because they're in the red zone and there is a pick called, so that will hold up play and bring it back.
Quick response from Kappatai against that zone defense from Manley, not giving them a chance to set up shop as far as defense goes, partner.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Kappatai, you know, I'd expect some pretty high disc skills despite this kind of wet weather. Oh, that's bouncing out. A few bobbles, a few attempts at save. There's going to be a foul call.
Some discussions here now. If a foul called during the throw, which might have been the reason why that pass wasn't as clean as they hoped for as far as Kappatai is concerned, rather.
Yeah, so a bit of discussion here. And I think some translation assistance provided as well.
And you can notice the win from the flags picking up. In the first 2 games, you weren't really sure about how the wind is going to react, but now it's showing how strong it is going with the wind rather for Kappatai's sake at this point.
And interesting in this mixed Pool D game, Pool D has actually got a fair variety of different nations represented. As you said, Wisby Nation, who's from Chinese Taipei, as well as Sambo Rice. Sorry, this is the wrong pool. I'm looking at Pool C. So Wisby Nation from Chinese Taipei. We have Gona and Kappatai from Japan. Freak Show Singapore, Hong Kong, and Manley team from Australia. So a real mix of different Frisbee styles and obviously different primary languages as well, John.
Correct. And it's a very tightly contested mixed Pool C division, Pool C at that. So if Kappatai really wants to get a hang into that second spot, a win is a must here for these games, and Manley try to just really get some momentum and try to get a win in their column.
Yeah, it's actually Manley's very first international tournament, a long-standing club in the Australian scene. As we get things underway after that chat, the disc stays in the red zone with Kappatai, and a quick beat to the cone there for the score. And a little bit of a trip up, but the goal does stand. So Kappatai on the board, 1-0.
Clean hold at that. Amazing display of concentration from Kappatai. See how Manley responds with that.
Kappatai actually seeded 3rd coming into this tournament. Manley 9. As I said, this is their first international tournament as a club, despite being a stalwart of the Australian club scene. So a taste of the international circuit, different styles, communication and spirit. But that was just a classic beat to the cone, and despite the bidding defender, very successful goal there for Tomohiro Nakamura.
And that's just 3 minutes of game action for Kappatai, efficient with their time on the offensive side. See how Manley responds to that. Yes, that is Ryoga Ito with the assist to Nakamura for the goal.
And the rain is just starting to fall a little harder after we had a patch of lighter water. And like you say, the wind, you can see the flags billowing right to left. Was very still in the first 2 games of the day, but this 3rd game slot, players having to also battle the conditions.
Slightly different at that with the wind. So if you're the offensive team here, you want to maintain this.
Oh, what a layout, D. Not sure if he got hands to disc, but enough to affect the catch. Always really difficult when the offensive player has to slow down a little and slow down a little bit too early in that instance. So Kappatai showing their class here. What can their offense do? And that is well too high. Manley with another chance here to score the hold.
Fortunate there after that amazing layout block from Capatai.
And the upline cut, power position, the continuation to the deep space. Surely this will be a goal. Yes, Manley do pull it down for an offensive hold to bring it 1-1.
That is number 21 from Manley. Amazing presence of mind from Sabrina. Is that correct?
I think the numbers might have been switched there,
correct.
So we'll have to work out. There's 2 21s. I see Sabrina there in the visor. So I have to get some of the roster and the names corrected. But Jess Lynn with a beautiful assist. Jess Lynn, I was really impressed with her in the most recent Australian national season. You know, playing for the Manley women's side. She was a really creative thrower. I mean, that one was just a regulation power position and huck and trust. But look at that flying defense. Like I said, no contact with the disc, but just flew in front of the face and affected that catch. Sometimes that presence can get you some amazing blocks.
That was Wu Chan Fan with that amazing layout D. Amazing to see those type of plays coming out from Kappatai.
Matilda Wu, disc in hand for a pull. And she does very well for an upwind pull. Gets a little bit of float there and some decent distance behind the brick mark. So Kappatai unmarked in the handler space at the moment, just working out what the matchups are.
Very interesting here. I'm not sure if that's a conscious effort. And it looks like you're sticking with that, partner. Just curious.
Yeah.
Oh, almost a layout block there. No good.
And Kappatai racing away now. They finally get the matchups right. That was very, very unusual, John. We'll have to come back to that as Kappatai using their fakes for advantage, moving the mark. And this one, sliding with the knees to the ground, but a nice score. Nope, there is a pick on Pickle.
But again, we'll see how that progresses, if that's really by design, right?
It was very unusual because oftentimes, you know, the matchups would have caught up by now. So take a look at this replay. I think there was just another Kappatai player in the way that affected the defender's line.
We're back in action.
Back in play now. And it's a forced backhand. So knowing the Japanese players often with very solid flicks, Manley have opted to go for a backhand force here. Done well to force it behind, but the inside backhand and the block. What a play by Manley.
The pass was so tight at that, trying to fit that pass in between those defenders. Oh, it looks like a strip is called.
Yeah, I think that was
quickly, and it quickly acknowledged by a Kappatai player.
Yeah, quickly accepted. Tilda Wu with the disc in hand. And Victor Young with the dump space, but instead looks the upfield option. Oh, that's a high shot, but well done on pulling that one down. Oh, and the nice attack on this open side. Bobble. Oh, unfortunate. And copped a little bit of contact on the way down. Did you?
Hopefully nothing too major. He's trying to slowly get up from that. Not sure if there was any major contact. Probably she got bothered enough to probably get off balance, and which resulted for her to be on the ground.
Yeah, I think, you know, when someone goes down, you always kind of stop play in case there's an injury and work out if there's a call.
Oh, looks like it's a foul,
call?
uncontested. It will stay, accepted rather. It will stay with Manley.
Yeah, so now with its disc in hand. So flick force, can she get the around break? She does. To Diggins. Open side cut available, but doesn't take the option. Instead goes for a congested pass, but manages to get through the middle to Wu.
It's almost a little bit poaching from Kappatai there.
Diggins again now, caught on this sideline. Manages to get the around. Can they make use of this break? Oh, would have loved to see that continue go. Kim now involved. Oh, and jumping it in. Diggins with the goal. Apologies, Betson with the goal.
First break opportunity converted by Manley. Great movement on that open side to really generate that point.
Absolutely, and I think pretty much every player on the line getting involved in the play as well. Really impressive to see the distribution and the load being shared. So that's a 1-for-1 for Manly's D-line. Very impressive start. Very
impressive start, and you see how it moves forward in terms of so far just tracking down on the turnovers. That the second turnover from Kappatai.
So the wind now lessening. The rain's pretty much going straight downwards. See Matson Shun there, long-time coach of Australia, has been involved in multiple Team Australia campaigns as well. So Manly very lucky to have him on the side alongside Sophie John. So two coaches and some strategic brains here for Manly.
You can hear sideline from Manley. Looks like that's going to just sail out of bounds.
Yeah, it's good distance, but just a bit misdirected there. And suspect it'll be taken from the brick mark.
Capatai is a full roster of different players across the Japan at that. A couple of players playing with different clubs. Capatai, AG Fonks to name Rascals as well. Anzuku to name a few. And even with that, they're showing, as early as on, great chemistry so far. So we'll see how that translates. Someone streaking deep.
Oh, and that was a cut from the front of the stack to deep, but the execution of that throw was, yeah, no go. So unfortunate. I like the look though. I love that, you know, all the players kept their defenders engaged. Didn't allow them to peel off the back, but the execution just wasn't there.
Correct execution at that.
Plenty of space on the break side. One-handed grab, the sticky gloves helping him trap that. And Manley just happy to swing it sideways for now. That's a nice shape on that lefty flick. Blades into the receiver and ways up. And again, just moving side to side until things open up downfield. So I like the composure to choose good options, but there is a pick called.
And great timing between the cutters and the handlers. I'm noticing, like, by the time that, and that's something you teach during drills in your trainings, just the timing of when to cut. And so far, Manly's doing a good job.
Sal now with the disc. Lefty. Goes a little backhand. Now Manly make meters. So they're doing really well because as they're swinging, the continuation cut is coming. So it's really nice flow. And Sal now with a break around. That is to Healy with the goal and the score for Manly. Erin Healy, number 27. Like I said, they've been timing those continuation cuts to perfection. This time it was a beautiful beautiful break around by Ernie Sal to create that goal. But the flow looking really nice.
Looking really nice at that. And that's going to be the second break converted by Manly on that note, to see if that's going to continue. But just looking at the replay, just calm and collected Manly is with that beautiful backhand pass to the break side. for their third score in this game. I believe that is Healy bringing it down from a pass by Ernie Chow.
Yeah, Ernie Chow there with the score. With the assist. And the rain a little heavier now. You can see the umbrellas from the coaching staff here getting a good workout. And I like the fact that the players have split the sideline. It's always so useful to get some different voices from different sides of the field. The more information you have, the easier it is, particularly on defense.
Correct. And as you see in the screen, Manley is being led by Jessica Lin in this tournament with 2 assists and 2 goals so far, followed closely by Matthew Tham with 1 assist and 2 goals.
That pull lands a little bit short, comes backwards, so plenty of time for Kappatai to set up their offense, and a pretty classic 1-6 stack. It looks like there's a bit of a poachy match, or maybe a bracket to start off their play in defense. But I think there's some trailing defenders that are definitely prioritizing the under space, John.
And great defense there from the women defender in Manley to really follow through to that in-cut, denying that easy in-cut.
Yeah, you can see Jenna Kim working really hard there, protecting that under. That one just escapes her, and now there's a bladey flick out the back, plenty of paddock, easy as you like. Kappatai with the score.
Second clean hold for Kappatai there, giving their second goal.
Takashita just finding that back corner of space. I think everyone had kind of clogged that open side, and we saw earlier in that point that the Manly defenders were kind of poaching off for bracketing. So Jenna Kim sitting in that open under space, denying any of those undercuts. But that means that, you know, they couldn't quite coordinate that back cover. And when you've got a high release breakthrough, I mean, like, yeah, that's just a good throw. But,
too good of a throw, indeed. So you look at that replay.
So you can see he looks, he goes. Jenna Kim not quite there and scrambling to try and get back on the mark to hold the force, but a little bit too late. Look, I don't mind the look in terms of Manly prioritising that open side, but when you've got some really skilled throwers on the Kappatai team, it does mean that you are exposed on that break side.
Exactly, and I think here for the Kappatai side, it's being led by Ryoga Ito, their assist maker with 7 total assists now in this tournament, followed closely by Akihiro Taniguchi with 5 goals and 3 assists.
So Kappatai looking like they're setting up in a zone defense. Got 3 in this front cup, and it looks like they're forcing to that far sideline. But Manly with an around break. They've moved the cup very well, marching it up the field. Can they score? Yes, they do, despite a diving Kappatai defender, and very well-spirited Fleming with the goal, making sure the defender was all right. Very smooth offense by Manly.
And that was actually Wu Chan Fan again for that layout bid. So looks like a player to watch out for as this game progresses, to see how many successful layouts he's going to make in this game.
Yeah, 2 on the board already, right?
Correct. But here to really recognize in terms of how Manly quickly decapitated that zone defense, right? For the lack of a better term. But just really not giving any momentum as far as defensive goes for Kappatai. Just threading passes in the middle of that zone.
Yeah, honestly, like, Kappatai were trying to trap the disc to the far sideline, and they did that successfully. But it was just one like high release flick break, got it open, and then zoop, 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 basically all the way through the middle because the cup wasn't able to catch up. And I think the other thing is the cup trying to stay together as well to contain it. I think that's probably a small adjustment that Kappatai will look to make.
And so far, just averaging out the time duration for the O-line of Manly is just roughly around 2 minutes to 3 minutes. So making quick work so far, and that's going to go well as the game progresses for the O-line of Manly. And at that is a clean hold as well for Manly in that last point.
Pull goes up, a bit of a roller. Again, Kappatai setting up in a 1-6 stack. And again, we have... Ooh, that was a low throw, but good enough. And I'm not sure that they're able to kind of match up and transition after this bracket switch. Can they get it to the open side? A lot of people just standing around clogging space at the moment, John.
Correct. And great. And what I'm noticing for Capatai is they're really punching into that middle of that zone.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a zone, a poachy D, a bracket. It's very chaotic at the moment. But I think that's what Manley wants on defense. So they just want to make it uncomfortable and chaotic for the other team, and I think they certainly are. Oh, there's a call now. Maybe some contact on the thrower.
Probably a fast count at that. It looks like between the two players. And this will be number 55. Nice Suto with the disc for Kappatai.
And just clarification around what stall count that this is coming in. Looks like a stall 4. So they're now more in a stack formation, Kappatai. So there's more space on both sides. And that's a nice break. Oh, and a beautiful shaped blade around. What a way to score. Kappatai coming up with the goods here. And that is a beautiful looking throw. Just the technique and the control on those blades, John.
I can hear the oohs and wahs of here in the booth, actually, about that amazing, skillful throw. As we get a chance to look at the replay here, partner.
Yeah, that's a beautiful play. And like I said, break. Gosh, really hard for the defense to try and catch up after that. But the technique on the control, on the shape of those throws, really difficult as well because the blades actually come in very quickly. There's no float. There's no time for your teammate to run onto it. So it has to be very, very precise. The degree of difficulty, absolutely sky high.
And he even took a short pause there before throwing that beautiful pass, right? So they're very difficult in terms of timing and also execution. But a lot of trust between the Kappatai players to execute that. Just noticing, we're just looking at our area of the booth as the rain is getting stronger by the minute. Just hopefully no one gets hurt. Most importantly, everyone from the volunteers and game advisors doing a great job, partner, in terms of organizing and managing the tournament.
And Manley's going for a split stack. So I noticed that their stack one went to the left, one went to the right, and then they had 2 handlers in the middle. So giving some different looks here, making the defense have to kind of reconfigure. And Ernie Sau now moves it upfield to Healy. Sau back in the handler space. Lin. Oh, and that's a lovely leading pass, but I think, unfortunately, Tan was too mindful of the line, wanted to get the extra meters to get the outright goal, but in the end lost concentration to complete the catch.
Yes, and I think also, as we saw in the second game, the rain is going to be a tough. You haven't even seen it, but slippery disc, despite with the gloves and all of that.
Yeah, I think he just tried to look at the line and tried to make sure he was inbounds, but then, yeah, that split second was when the catch just wasn't complete.
Kappatai with a chance to tie this game up. Great spacing so far between the handlers and cutters.
Yeah, agree. I think even though it looks kind of congested, oh, what a way to thread it through the channel. Kappatai, they just have such a wide pivot, and using their full extension arms makes that mark move so far away, and it opens up the inside channel. As we hear, oh, and that is stolen away. Manley off to the races. Is it double happiness? No, too far out in front for Peter Wazer. Woo, that was a real let-off.
Real laser from a pass there. He had no chance for the Manley player to catch up.
He had so much space. Just, yeah, the overthrow. Look at this. Just stole it away. Read that inside look to the front of stack. Took a step in front. And here, just needed, yeah, just a little bit too fast. Slight overthrow there. as we said, the wet disc potentially playing some havoc.
It's like a very tight V-stack from Kappatai, but able to get some movement from there.
Yeah, so Manley, again, they seem to be opting for this forced backhand, and that one does force an error, goes to the turf.
That is the second turnover of Kappatai in this point alone. Turnovers are piling up for Kappatai. That's already their 5th turnover in this game.
Yeah, I think, you know, when we have conditions like this, clean ultimate is going to be much more difficult. There's going to be a corner mark. But interestingly, Manley have opted, it looks like the default is to force backhand. Like I said, we're so familiar with the beautiful inside flicks and the flick mastery of the Japanese teams. I think this is a good option, just to try to make them throw something that maybe they don't do as often.
And we usually, I can understand that point. We in my club as well, we usually force that because most of the teams are already well known throwing the forehand, so trying to give them a different look, right? Especially to your point, Japan is so good with their forehands.
I'm sure they're very good with their backhands. So a little bit of chat. I'm not entirely sure what the call is, but something related to the mark. And Nakajo. Oh. Yeah, so everyone just making sure everyone's aware of what's happening. Healy with a disc marked by Saki Nakajo. Oh, and Healy finds the disc through to Lin. Moves it upfield, an immediate continuation, and why not when there's separation, but it lands between two of the receivers. Spoiled for choice there.
Just when you thought Manny's going to convert that point, another turnover. 2nd in this point alone.
Yeah, like I said, 2 turnovers apiece, so multi-turnover point here. This one's turning out to be a bit of a grinder, John.
Correct, like a grind at that, and see who's going to be able to overcome those turnovers and score a point. I think mentally here, Kapatai's got to score this if they want to just have mental win at that. It's a long point, so just losing from this point.
Well, what a layout bid, but Capatai make it work with that low huck. Oh, can they get all the way? But tipped, but scored! Capatai with a relatively quick chain of events. That multi-turnover point with a grinder. Like you say, John, sometimes the mental edge of winning those long grindy points can prove to be crucial.
Yeah, something to take away from the first 2 games that we watch as we look at that replay of that quick movement.
So that classic J stack, right? That's a very, very low huck. And the defender had a bid on it. Sal there getting horizontal, but this one, the leading pass, Wazer almost outstretched hands, but good sense to keep his feet there. And Kappatai now with the goal to Rei Kitaguchi. And so Kappatai leveling up at 4-4.
And that's going to go well for Kappatai, right? Being able to hold serve on that. And be able to tie this game up. Anyone's ball game so far.
Yeah, I think that's the break actually. So.
Oh yes, it is actually.
Yeah,
correct.
So
it is a break point from Kappatai.
Yeah, so Manley went up 2 breaks in a row, and then Kappatai have managed to peg one back now. So it's just 1 break, the difference. And Wee San Fan,
correct,
the player with the score. Like you said, some really amazing defensive layouts already this time, getting the job done on offense. So converting those breaks.
And it looks like a zone defense being applied by seeing how Kappatai can respond to get another break.
Yeah, it looks like they're forcing a flick to this close sideline. And they do get it here, trapped. Oh, and a hammer upstairs. Precise. And Manley moving it up quickly. Surely there'll just be a 1-2-1-2. Now on the far sideline, moving back to move forwards. It's very steady hands. I like the patience and composure shown here by Manley.
And Kappatai still sticking with that zone defense, being able to push Manley back.
Yeah, now with the disc. plenty of fakes to get the cup moving, and a very cheeky lefty backhand to Belt.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what vision. What a throw. A hammer to the far side of the field. Matilda Wu slams a disc in delight. Very happy with that clean hold.
And that all started out from that hammer from the first few passes, right? It really opened up the field for Manley. Partner.
Yeah, I believe that was Matilda Wu who threw that first hammer, actually. So teammates inspired by her and managed to get one to her.
That's a clean hold for Manley. Great response from that grueling point earlier. As you can see here, look at that replay. But I think Kappatai was able to do a great job shutting down the middle movement for Manley, but in response, Manley used the great swings to their handlers to their advantage, knowing that there's not a lot of marking in between those handlers for Manley.
Yeah, Manley showing that they're, brave enough to use those overhead throws. A couple of hammers really breaking through and getting plenty of meters gained, and they were kind of out pretty quick, right? So Manley showing that their disc skills are also not to be laughed at. Plenty of tools there on display.
And again, quick point from Manley. That was just a little over 2 minutes and change for them, making efficient use of their time.
Yeah, especially in the zone O as well. Like often we know that the zone D points, they're going to be a little bit longer than the match defense. So Manley, like you said, making quick work of things. Kappatai, nice gainer. That was a very low shot, but beautiful control. And looks off the initial field, goes for an upline power position. No continue option, so has to holster. Oh, lovely little jinking movement. Oh, gets free and gets a layout. Kappatai also with a very efficient hold to respond to Manley.
Respond to a clean hold.
Clean hold for clean hold.
Clean hold for clean hold. So far, we're even at this game at the first half.
Yeah, so the frisbee is certainly clean, but I think the jersey's a bit dirty.
I mean, blame the weather, blame the rain for that. But we're looking at a pretty exciting game so far. Close match between these two divisions.
Yeah, only one break with it. As we said, I think Manley had the early ascendancy. They broke twice in a row to go up to 3-1. But Kappatai managing to pick one back. And, oh my goodness, some of these throws, they're so low. I'm just like, surely it's not going to make it. But somehow they just pinpoint laser accuracy. I mean, as a receiver, the degree of difficulty in catching those laser sharp fast discs is actually really, really tough. So absolute kudos to Kappatai to keeping it in their hands.
Exactly. It just goes to show their athleticism and skill, full display for their home country.
That was Tomohiro Nakamura assisting with the score to Satsuki Hirano in a time of 1 minute 50. So very, very efficient, John, as you said.
Nakamura is really known for his consistent throwing. He's been playing for almost a little over 7 years now. Hasn't really played a lot of any notable clubs at that, but still, full display of his skills as far as throwing goes. And definitely, as a coach for Aichi University, being able to see his juniors qualify for the main tournament was a highlight of his very young ultimate career at that, partner. But just looking at their lineups here for Kappatai, right? Seeing a lot of players playing for AOUC last year and also from the WMUC last year as well. We have some features from WOC of 2018, but other than that, a lot of new faces as far as international level play goes, partner.
Yeah, so definitely, like you said, international experience from a few of their players and very consistent. You can see they're very experienced and very well drilled, have a good understanding of each other. But Manley now with a big huck floating, looking for a tall receiver. That's going to be a foul call. And Sasha Bell, the Teruki Ono. And they're going to have a chat with a bit of translation assistance here.
See, look at the replay just to get a better look at this. Interesting to see how this goes out. I think the conversation is if it's a strip or a foul. But it looks like from the sound signals, it is a foul being called by Manley.
I think the hand signals for foul and strip are the same, or have they changed, John?
It's a very good question.
Yeah, I think it's the same hand signal. So, yeah, difficult for us to know exactly what's been called, but either way, calling an infringement of some sort. Like I said, you know, allowing a bit of extra time for the translation as well to ensure that the communication is thorough.
Interesting to see how this plays out. It looks like from the hand signals, it's a contested call, so it's going to go back to the initial thrower.
Yeah, and that was a really big lefty backhand hook, really ripped it. Jake Betson with the big arm there.
So Manley will retain disc.
Yeah, so you see Kappatai really protecting that under space, not letting the players get an easy under. And they have forced a turn. Kappatai on the ascendancy now. Get things going. Oh, and they rip an inside-out, perfectly weighted lefty backhand. Oh my God, that is deliciously good. Insane.
Deliciously good at that. Full meal serve of a hawk. Passing through multiple defenders at that. Very ambitious and courageous from Kappatai.
I don't know how they find those channels, right? It's like, how do you have the vision to see that pass through those bodies? And look, like I said, they were prioritizing covering those unders, right? And that really forced that tiny channel. Manley weren't able to, you know, nurture the disc. Vision. Like, how do you have the confidence to throw that in that narrow inside channel, escape the whole stack, all those defenders? That was just exquisite. Oh my goodness.
That was Teriki Ono with an amazing assist. Delicious indeed.
And that is Kappatai's break back. So we are now back on serve, John. What a game we have on our hands here. Kappatai versus Manley. Woo.
And Teriki Ono, I think that would be his 4th assist in this tournament. He's also one of the leading stat makers for Kappatai. And I think rightfully so, if you saw that beautiful pass. Right, so just looking at the game stats right now, it's really spread out so far in terms of Kappatai, like having Nakamura and Ono so far leading, but other than that, everyone has a say in terms of stats for Kappatai.
And there's an offside call. So this is the slight advantage of having game advisors on your field, is that you do have that additional information. Of course, the game advisors are not calling, I guess, or making a call for the offside. They're just giving information to the teams, and the teams can decide if they want to actually make the call themselves. So and what a great bit, another defensive effort by Kappatai. Manley gesturing for their cutters to come under. Now trapped on the far sideline. They're going for a big huck, and that is fantastic separation. Female matching players. Jesslyn this time on the receiving end of the goal. Manley, a nice clean hold to get things back on track.
So far, no one's blinking between these two teams. Evenly matched, and that's a clean hold from Manley as well. See, look at that replay on the passes. Oh, a nice layout attempt from Kappatai. Try to make a play of that disc. Just a beautiful pass right on top of the Kappatai defender. And that is number. That's Manley being able to reel it down, get the score. I think that's Jessica Lin from Manley being able to get that score. So far, it's a tightly contested match. I mean, you've seen both different looks between a zone and man, and everyone's responding well against those type of defenses. So not a lot of things, like no one's edging out anything as far as defense goes.
Yeah, I think when Manly put on that kind of, I don't know what it was, like a poachy or like a bracket kind of defense, they did get caught out a couple of times. They didn't kind of switch or recognize and get their matchups on quick enough. So I think that's probably an area which they've now tidied up, and playing much tighter, I think, has enabled them to keep things a little bit more controlled. But Kappatai working things up nicely with some float. And again, working these open unders, but the pressure defense and the presence of the defense there, forcing that turn. Like I said, those zippy, quick discs, very difficult to track.
Very difficult to track, and that's the turnover for Kappatai. See how Manley responds.
Manly now, their D-line getting to work. They're looking for another break. It feels like it's been a while since they've got one. And so, interestingly, Kappatai defense are really taking it easy and really standing off and poaching off. There's going to be a call. Injury call, perhaps?
Correct, yes. I think it looks like way beyond the pass, or way before the pass, perhaps. And it looks like there's a sub's going to be happening for Kappatai player.
Looks like it was a downfield injury call, so not related to the play itself, but yeah, something must have been.
See how it goes. And again, it will go back to number 1, Young from Manley. Let's see, and this will return. Manley gets it back here. This is Betson.
That upline cut looked off, opts for the around. And the open cut looked off. So a couple of times here I've seen that. Oh, and there goes a big huck. Oh, but that one just a little too much to handle for Chen.
Too much, and Kappatai gets it back.
That was an opportunity gone begging.
Correct. Oh, what an amazing pass, an amazing layout bid from Manley.
Oh, I don't think that just came out as desired, but Kappatai might make it work. I don't know how the receiver read that, but my goodness, milking it for all it's worth, and a quick put. Kappatai do manage to get back that hold, so breathe a sigh of relief. Gosh, that was a real opportunity for Manley, wasn't it, John?
Correct. I think they weren't just able. There's 2 defending players from Manley. They didn't know that. Felt that they should have attacked that disc, and how that the throw wasn't. As you look at the replay on that throw again, didn't felt right.
Yeah, I think it looks like it looped shorter than expected. You could see that the shape was a little bit like, J shape. But, I don't know, somehow the defenders overran it and thought it was going longer than it was, and didn't realize that didn't come out of the hand as intended.
And way for Akihiro Taniguchi to milk out that pass towards Taniguchi to get as close as possible to the end zone, right? So, great presence of mind to get as close as possible. But now, Kappatai maintaining the 1-point lead now as we approach closer to half.
Yeah, 1-point lead, but it's really actually just on serve, isn't it, John? The advantage of, I guess, winning the toss and starting on offense first.
Here we are off. It looks like that pole was going to be just right at the mid-mark of this field. The middle of this field. So a little short space for Manley to work to get a quick point, perhaps. Oh, it looks like an offside was called, and they're going to start all the way to the brick mark.
Okay, yep. So a horizontal set to start off with. Really nice diamond pattern with the cutting, with one player faking long and then coming under, and then the other person doing the complementary opposite. Lin now trapped on the sideline. Gets a small dishy in the upline space. Power position. Space out the back. Is it going to stay in? Yes, it will. That is Sabrina Sien there with the score for Manley. What a beautiful passage of play. Way to get a clean hold.
Green hole as well, 7-all. Great response again from Manley so far. 7-all in this match. Anyone's game so far.
Yeah, we're nearing the last part of this half. In fact, this is a Galaxy point, John.
Correct, and so it's going to be very important on how this looks like for the next point for Kappatai. High fives all around for Manley there. And that's actually Hannah Song reading it down from a pass from number 10, Matthew Tham. Matthew with his second assist in this game. Looks like a timeout is being called. It's going to give some time for both teams to regroup.
Yeah, like we said, Galaxy point here, John. So I wouldn't be surprised if both teams put on a very strong line just to try to get the edge going into half.
And just looking at the stats so far, no one's really shining out like in particular player, which talks about how well balanced both of these teams are in terms of who are contributing to their team success so far, partner.
For sure, absolutely a team effort all round. And yes, like there are some teams who will have the stars, they might dominate the stats and the scoreboard, but you know, ultimately you need all your players playing well, and I think that is one of the thoughts that the Manley team had going into this tournament, is that, hey, you know, we know that a lot of these players haven't had that international experience playing against different styles, but we want to try and play the best that we know we can. And that way we can really maximize this opportunity, get those reps and those legs and that experience, and then come out as better Frisbee players.
Just looking through the chat on the live stream, someone asked we should start playing with umbrellas now. I was like, wish that would be possible, but hats is the next best thing as far. But understandably so, the weather is the rain is just pouring so hard right now.
Although I have to say, it's still pretty warm, right? So, you know, when you're cold and wet, I think that's pretty rough. But the temperature's not too bad. Yes, you're soggy and you're wet and, you know, you basically got puddles in your shoes and weighing you down. But you know what? I don't mind it. I think there's been worse.
There's been worse indeed. And here's Kappatai now.
Ito with the disc. Not much movement. Goes for a little dump to Kawashima. And a flat mark. Looks like Manley are consciously trying to prevent the long options, but they find a beautiful inside channel. Move it quickly. Disc is with Sakai. Oh, and very closely marked. Ito throws it out of bounds on the full. An unusual error there.
I felt like he had to. I think he decided to really reach out for that pass. And that's the reason why I felt if he just decided to just try to read it and move a little forward, had a better chance. But decided to really reach out for that disc and try to make a play. And that's a costly turnover.
Yeah. So Manley working their way up, and that is a fantastic block. Ito getting it back after throwing the disc away. What a way to grind. So Ito tasked with picking up the disc. Again with that J stack forming, but hot defensive pressure there applied by Manley. Another shot.
Second turnover for Kappatai at this point. Teams are digging in now.
Wu fakes the forehand, throws the forehand. Ooh, and bodies on the line. There is some call and discussion. I think maybe a foul. Yeah, and that is quickly accepted by Taniguchi. Oh. Or contested foul maybe, and going back to Wu.
But great effort there for the layout from Taniguchi to try to make a play. It's going to go back with Manley here.
Yeah, so Wu with the disc, just making sure everyone's in position now. Tap back in. Betson. Oh, up to Kim, and that's the bobble, and the defense pressure just running through. Nakajo with the block. Ito Goes out wide to Kawamura. Safe dump to Ito. Nice and low on that pivot, really balanced. Oh, tries for the inside, but that block on by Victor Jung.
I felt where one of the players from Capatai had a clean lateral cut to the open side, but the handler opted to send it over to the break side, which gave Manley a chance.
And Wu with a nice outside in shape on that. A high grab, belt. Back to Betson. And Ito driving around on the mark, trying to force an error. Kim now. On her hands and knees. That is Song.
Begging for a catch.
Sorry, that was Chen. Betson stays in the backfield. Jenna Kim, a nice undercut. She was completely open, but opted not to throw that one. Goes instead for a loopy shot to Bell.
Someone was streaking deep from Manley, but that was turned away. Great cut there inside.
Yeah, I think the mark took a while because they were too occupied clogging the lane, but either way, Manley make the lane theirs. There's a travel called. Comes back in quickly via Jung, who had the block on the other end of the field. Betson swings to Kim. The continue, not quite on, so again, elects to go sideways to go forward. I like, oh, and there is a call. So very patient now after a, multi-turnover point, 5 turnovers in total already. I think Manley looking just to settle things down, keep it calm, look for the completely open throws.
Well, thought about it, but looks like a violation is being called again.
Maybe some early movement from the downfield cutters.
Correct. Just checking our surroundings. A little flood happening in our booth so far. But we'll get back to the action here.
Oh, Betson to Kim. Kim has to go all the way to the sideline. Manages to keep a toe on the ground. Oh, that's a very low shot. Too low, in fact, for... So, 6 turnovers now. Just interesting, right, John? We had a really long, grindy point in the first half. And to finish the second half, you can see how much both teams want this Galaxy point.
And just notice it's the same. Oh, just an unfortunate error there.
That's the overthrow by Kappatai. Gives the disc back to Manley. Jung now holsters. You can see the splash of the puddle from the player's foot.
You can see fatigue setting in for both teams now.
Fatigue not for Jenna Kim. She continues to provide those open undercuts, working very hard for Team Manley. And a nice shape on that around to get it to the break side. Betson, Jung working together. Long option provided, but doesn't like the look of the Hucks, so they opt for the under through Chen. Oh, and that one's a bladey outside in a one-handed grab under pressure by Sasha Bell. And Jenna Kim, she's an absolute workhorse, working hard to get the Galaxy point for Manley to take half.
Huge for Manley as they're going to start on the O on the second half of the point. So huge momentum shifting to Manley there. Getting that much needed break.
What an interesting half, John. Manley came out firing 2 breaks. Then Kappatai managing to even it up, peg 1 break back to make it 4-all. And that was that long, messy point to win it 4-all. And we thought, oh, maybe Kappatai has that psychological edge. Then, trading, Kappatai got another break back. And this final Galaxy point, another grinder, 6 turnovers in total. And Manley come up with the break point. What a way to end half. I cannot wait for the second half of this game. Make sure you stay tuned for Kappatai versus Manley. See you on the other side. We are back in the second half of this very exciting game of Kappatai from Japan and Manley from Sydney, Australia. The first half was an absolute ripper. In the end, went to Galaxy Point, and Manley getting a break point on Galaxy Point to go up 8-7, and now starting on offense. So if they can manage to hold this, get a little bit of an edge on the score. And an offside called again, so that's a second offside now called. Manley will take
and just to take note, right, on that last point, longest point duration at 8 minutes and 50, and eerily similar to that, if you remember that 4-all score at 6 minutes and 50, those two points, very long in terms and very important as well as we get back to the action.
Yeah, Healy marches it up. So Kappatai opting for a zone look here, but quite a loose front wall, so trying to prevent that, but Sao says, no way, this is my disc. And now Manley moving it to the far side. Fakes a high release, safe dump behind, and a lovely dump swing movement. Sao now with a step as the wall catches up. Cheeky high release, lefty backhand, and Sao really marshalling this offensive line. Very slick with the disc. And this one, it's a bladey shot, plenty of hang time, but safe as houses there.
Oh, great threading pass.
And on the doorstep, can they work it out? Kappatai electing to stay with this zone look. Can Manley find the holes and shoot through? Yes, they can, with a bit of heat, but Manley do what is needful. They hold to make it 9-7.
And I think there was some miscommunication there. I already saw one of the Capatai already pointing to that direction. I didn't think he was able to see that communication of moving towards that open player from Manley.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the choice of maintaining that zone look all the way to the end. It's going to find some holes, and Manley have proven that they're not afraid to throw some of these, I guess, higher risk passes. But when you're playing at the level such as this, when, you know, most of the players can throw very accurately and throw high, low, around, the shapes we've seen today have been incredible. And very close, that defensive effort by Sujimura. But in the end, Sien there catching the goal. Apologies, that's Hannah Song catching the goal. So Tam to Song, I feel like we've seen that combination before for a score.
And she's now leading it with 2 goals now in this game alone.
And yeah, that was a copy-paste. So Matthew Tam to Hannah Song was also a score for 7-7 in the first half.
Correct, and that's the second time these two players have connected, so let's watch out with those two players.
Yeah, classic combo here on the rise.
So Manley did what is needed. Hold serve. Let's see how Kappatai responds there.
Yeah, as you were saying, John, the 2 long points in the first half were really a sign of momentum shift, right? So Kappatai managed to get the grind out that long point, and then they managed to get a second break not long after. So, you know, is the break just before half for Manley the sign of their first little momentum rise? What can Kappatai do about this? Ono with the disc, high release. Oh, but the little poach defense, there's going to be a call, and I think it might be a strip call.
Just looking how the hand gestures in the explanation.
Yeah, Ito thought he had caught the disc, and then it was ripped away.
We get a second chance, a second look for that.
So, lovely high release. It's a lefty backhand here. Ito here, he gets... Ooh, that looks to be probably simultaneous. Hey, John?
Correct. And with that being said, offense should get that disc back if that's the case.
Yeah, so Christine Wang there. She did very well to get up high and go for the disc, and very brave to kind of poach off and read that play. So kudos to defense, but very difficult. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if this contestant goes back, because it's just so difficult to tell.
Exactly. And we just had the blessing of having replay on our side to be able to make that slow-mo replay at that to get that decision. But understandably, under these conditions, I wouldn't be surprised if it would be a contested strip.
And I think it was, it's also quite tricky, I think, because the two players caught the disc on opposite sides of the disc as well.
Exactly. Right? So, like, really considering it as a bang-bang play for sure. Not sure what it looks like.
Yeah, contests, I think, from the hand signals. Ito just dodging.
It's going to go back to the last uncontested play. And Capatai gotta take care of the disc now. Goes without saying, but, you know, if I were them early in the second half, just try to make those easy passes first, just to really get some rhythm. Ooh, almost a drop there, able to get sticky hands to retain disc.
Oh, and that's a nice upline cut. Managed to force the defender under. In the end, goes for the swing. You see the puddles and the splashes. The feet must be getting heavy with the rain. And that's an open slide on the hands and knees to ensure the grab. Oh,
wow.
And the beautiful inside is too far out of reach. So Kappatai giving up possession on offense.
First turnover for either teams in the second half. Are we seeing the momentum now slowly moving towards Manley here?
Yeah, I mean, if the pattern goes as it has, wouldn't be surprised if they slot this one in for another break.
No rounds mark here, initiated from Kappatai, and that just slips through her hands. Unfortunate error there. And that was Cynthia Huang, unable to reel it in.
So Kappatai again, just the one handler and everyone else in the stack. So you can see the movement coming from the front of stack. The first option goes and the second option is covered. Fantastic defense there by Manley, so they get another opportunity for a break score.
Oh, it looks like it'll be floaty pass, but able to reel it in. Manley keeps it alive for them.
So the field cut comes, a little jink and a high release to make it work. Fakes it off, looking for a dump. Nice and safe with Huang. Huang goes around on the open side. Oh, and just bodies in the way. It's going to be a call.
It'll be against Ono.
Ono and Diggins having a chat there. And you can see a lot of bodies in and around the disc, making it very tricky. It did look like Ono had position.
Correct, and I felt probably Diggins got bothered from that great effort from Ono, and that's the reason why bobbled through that disc. But here's the discussion between these two players.
It didn't look like there was contact made, but I think it's always difficult to tell when someone gets a step in front of you, kind of deflects the disc and you think you have caught it and it goes somewhere else. It's just, it all happens so quickly, doesn't it?
Correct. Exactly, to your point. So we'll see how this goes. An important point for Kappatai to get it back, because they don't really want to see this margin widen even further.
Yeah, definitely not. And it's been 2 turnovers from Kappatai and 1 from Manley at this point, so I wonder if we're going to see another grinder. You can hear the thunder ringing as well, so weather also perhaps coming into play. We've had it all really. Yesterday, you know, very hot, over 30 degrees Celsius with the heat breaks. Today, all rainy and wet and with the thunder and lightning. So going to have to see how this plays out, as we do with the discussion of this call.
You can see some of the players, at least for Kappatai, trying to keep themselves warm. Moving around, just not to be staying at one, being static, rather. So, I think the reason why it's taking a longer time is because of the language barrier, and it's taking longer than usual, and it looks like it's going to be a contested call, and it will stay with Manley.
A lot of bodies very close to the disc. Very tight spaces, but it does mean there's space out the side and the back. And as we see here, out the side, they do convert. Manley coming up goods here with another break to extend the lead to 10-7.
It's time to dig in for Kappatai. Seeing a lot of the bad body language from them. A little bit defeated so far, but again, gotta shake that off quickly and focus on the next point if you're Kappatai.
Yeah, I think Manley are definitely hungry for the win. Like you said, coming into this game, they've been 0-2. Looking to try and gel together. They had some difficulty getting the whole squad together, training once a week since about May or so. But like I said, there have been players who have had other commitments with training camps for some of the national teams and the beach teams and the under-24s. So, you know, taking the opportunity for these pool games to iron out some kinks, and this game hopefully putting it all together.
Putting it all together indeed. And as you mentioned, a lot of Manley players coming from, you know, Rogue Ultimate, GWS, Manley Mullets, Frisbee Besties, to name a few. And to your point, like, they're just getting this chance to really gel in as one team. And it's amazing that's now culminating to this game so far for Manley.
Yeah, I think the core of this team are Manley club players. You know, Frizz Besties is a mixed team. Rogue is a women's team. So, yeah, a lot of these, you know, I would say it's a pretty legitimate club team with not too many pickups, and you know the other clubs are still Sydney based, so certainly able to get at least some training, and I'm sure some of these athletes will be familiar to each other from, you know, playing together at league and other clubs as well. So hear the cheers from the sideline. Manley trying to keep the spirits high, and sometimes getting a vocal edge as well does give you an advantage.
Yep, exactly. Team sideline as well, where, you know, you're hearing those cheers on that side of the field goes a long way for the 7 on the line there, and especially for Manley, who's quite a young team, average age of 27 years old, and it's showing here so far in terms of their skill and athleticism. But Kappatai not to be undone. See if they can rally the troops.
For sure, and here they go rallying for this offensive point. The stack is quite spread out actually, so limited options on. There might be injury or foul call. Perhaps like a foul. I think maybe it's the cleats on cleats there.
I was just going to say, ouch.
Kappatai utilising the open side now.
Great move into the open side. Continuously on that same part.
Sakai with a nice around break to center the disc. Now waiting for continuation. Oh, and that is a lovely outside in shape disc back with Sakai. Oh, and that was just a small dump. It looked very straightforward. Not sure why, but just a lapse of concentration. And there goes a big, long huck. And that floats beautifully for Nathaniel Tan. And that is 2 breaks in a row for Manley.
Manley taking no time to quickly send it over to their attacking end zone. Manley taking full control in the second half of this game.
Very impressive. That is 4 points in a row, John. The break before half, the hold to open the second half, and then 2 breaks straight. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a timeout of some sort called, but it looks like Kappatai are quite happy to play on. Try and keep moving in this wet weather. And, oh gosh, that was beautiful huck there. Plenty of float, plenty of air. Good separation as well. There was no way the defender was getting anywhere close. And Manley showing that they are ready to play, ready to rumble here.
And you know who threw that pass again? Matthew Tham again with that beautiful hawk.
Matthew Tam proving to be an absolute gem.
He's now have a total of 4 assists now in this game alone. So like here for Matthew Tam, right? 25 years old, mostly a defensive handler, and what he's looking for is the solid handling, and you can see it there, right, in the powerful Hawks, playing for Frisbee Besties. And one of his highlights was winning gold with Frisbee Besties in 2024. So definitely shy, definitely if solid handling is what we're looking out for, as per him. Full display there, partner. Full display.
That's right. I do remember, and not sure what's...
It looks like
Thunder. It must be a thunder or
time
lightning
out.
warning.
Correct. So we'll take a short break with this as we get back to the action, as we definitely care for the safety of the players. So we'll be back after a short break live from Kamisu City.
And we are back after a lightning delay here. So little break, 7-11 conveniently for Manley. Obviously the Combini 7-Eleven stores getting a good workout by all the visiting players outside of Japan. And so with some technical delays here, we're going to have to rely on our voices. So we left
at 7-11 where Manley was able to take their second consecutive break now and see how Kappatai can rebound for that.
So Capatai on offense now, working things up, but there is a stoppage in play. Try and work out what's going on. This will go back. Maybe a downfield foul, and looks like players just getting reset in position.
Just see how that long break will, if it'll be enough, if it's going to be a momentum stopper for at least for Manley and be an opportunity for Kappatai to regroup, but given the score, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think the score and also the time, right, John? So hard cap now will happen at 3:19 local time. So it's about or just under 20 minutes for Kappatai to try to claw back the margin. And certainly some prolonged stoppages won't help their cause either.
That it will reset back.
So Ito with the disc, a nice bladey forehand, and that one's a high grab. Well done to the receiver. Looking for the dump in Ito, but he is well covered. Oh, and that goes all the way back. Ito dives for the layout, going backwards for the trailing edge. And turnover. And Manley with a one-throw score. Jake Betson on the end of that disc. So that dump defense really earning Manley that opportunity. And that is a break train if I've seen it in this game. 3 on the trot now, John.
Three consecutive breaks now. And just like Kappatai is just flabbergasted at this point. Surprise of the turnaround after a very close game before halftime.
And Ito doing everything he could. Superman layout as well with the backward dump, trailing edge. Almost got a hand to touch a disc, but just couldn't control and get his hand underneath. In the end, the quick pickup from Manley.
So we'll just see how this goes. But again, 7-12 already. Manley taking full control of this game.
Yeah, Diggins with the quick pickup. He's on the stats board with 1 assist and 2 goals.
And Jake Betson able to reel it in for his first score in this game. So
yeah, to go alongside the assist. And he's certainly been in the handler space, controlled and been really steady, I think, for the Manley offensive points. So good to see some results for effort there.
Again, Kappatai, just looking at the body language from their sideline, right? A little bit of concern, but you can still see them strategizing on the sideline, determining what's the next best step for them to inch closer. On the flip side, Manley, energetic as always, running through to that defense.
So Kappatai now, classic 1-6 stack. They're making use of the width of the field this time, going all the way. Power position, but they continue not on. Working their way upfield now. Still being forced to this close sideline. Dumps back. And an inside flick, classic. Looking for the long, fakes that one off. Takashita moves it across. Kawachi now brings it up to the very tall Wu Sanfan. They've made some incredible bids this game. Sliding on the ground.
Someone's streaking deep.
And a big, long... Oh, that was beautiful play by Kappatai. Ito there with the score. I thought Sabrina Shen had the position, but Ito just comes out of nowhere, sprints past and gets in position for a clap catch.
You can really see that developing, that play, as soon as he
called it.
Saw that player streaking deep. It looks like the handler from Kappatai made up his decision already to send it deep. And that would be The first point in the second half for Kappatai.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. That was Kawauchi to Ono for the score. So Kappatai having to work very hard, but that was a really nice offensive transition, I thought. They had the 1-6 stack, and this time it was very clear open options, and then just working their way up again, that classic inside flick, opening up that break side, and then that long option, perfectly timed, perfectly weighted. Defenders just unaware of that disc coming at full speed.
And Teruko Ono, his fingerprints in this game all over, having 2 assists and a goal. And see if it's just too little too late now. But never say never if you're any underdog fan.
For sure, we've already seen some really spirited second halves on the stream this tournament. And Kappatai on the home turf, sure they want to put on a good showing, and there is 3 whistles and a pause. Not quite sure what happened just there, but anyway, it's a nice pull, inside out backhand pull, plenty of distance there.
Again, if you're just joining the scores at 12-8 in favor of Manley. It's a match person defense being set by Kappatai.
Oh, and that was a big bid by Chen, trying to get in the way of disc. Kappatai does come up with it. And now, looks like Kappatai will retain possession now, working the open side well. And they are in the red zone, just waiting for the touch clear, but diving bid attempt, not successful. Kappatai a little fake and hiding the disc behind his body. Oh, and a nice little upline cut into the pocket. Kappatai.
With their first break. Amazing. Turn of events here. So it's 9-12 now, just a 3-point deficit. Inching a little closer.
Yeah, I thought that Kappatai might be running out of time, but they've actually scored quite quickly for the last 2 points. This point was only 2 minutes, 45 seconds, and the previous one was 2:20. So making quick work after getting their breath in that lightning time delay.
And see, if they're going to stick with that match person defense again, I'd opted for them to do that, given that they don't have enough time to be spending, taking a long time. So I think, and that would be, if we're going to do a zone defense, so it's going to take a longer time for them to get the point back.
Yeah, I think it's all about efficiency. You got to go hard or go home at this point. And remember, Kappatai are 1-1 so far coming to this game. So if they get 2-1, that will still keep their chances alive in terms of trying to finish top 2 of the pool and therefore getting a place in the quarterfinals. Manley at the moment down love 2, and they are playing hard to try and get their first win on the board here. So probably out of contention in terms of making a quarterfinal, but they want to try and place well in their pool to give them opportunity to finish in that 9-12 bracket.
Correct. And some developing, and probably something we can discuss later about the pool seats. It's becoming very competitive throughout their standings, but we'll get back to that as we get towards the action here.
Jesslyn to pick up for Manley. She's on the far side and no mark at the moment, taking their time to get set. Goes up to Sao. Sao goes a big huck, got Fleming in acres of space. Beautiful float, beautifully read, beautifully caught by Adrian Fleming there for Manley. And talk about efficiency. I don't think that took more than 20 seconds, John.
Definitely, for sure. Just a quick 1-2 pass already, and you can see them already at their end zone, giving them their 13th point. Amazing use of their time.
Yeah, 2-score pass. Absolutely hammering it in.
And you are correct. Just around the 2-minute mark for that point for Manley. And that's from Ernie Chow to Adrian Fleming.
Oh, and that includes the time like in terms of calling the line and everything,
Yes.
right? Because the point starts as
Correct.
soon as the previous point finishes.
Exactly.
So the actual disc time, I don't know,
Could
10
be
seconds?
even correct. But great for Manley to put out that mini run that Kappatai was able to capitalize.
Yeah, so I think Manly probably going to be looking to do a match defense. You can see them asking Kappatai to indicate their gender matchups.
And just interesting, just going through the standing so far. Gona and Wisby are top 2, and then followed by Freak Show and Capatai. Right, but right now the game ongoing. Freak Show is currently leading against Wisby, so a lot of implication down the line in terms of standing and how these 3 teams will go against each other. They have yet to face each other, Capatai, Freak Show, and Gona.
Yeah, that second spot in the pool might be a bit of a 3-way fight, huh?
Exactly. So this is very important for Capatai if they just want to stay in the hunt.
Kappatai moves it up to the open side. Ito, as ever present in the handler space. Fakes off the dump reset, but then asked to go again. They do finally get it off to Suto. Suto looking for the inside, gets the inside. Beautiful continuation, backhand break. Wu now. Back to Suto. Oh, plenty of heat. Bidding defender on Sakai. That is an accepted foul. So Jenna Kim going on all fours there to trying to get possession for her team.
We'll stay with Kappatai here.
Yeah, Sakai gives her a high five for efforts. And again, looking for the inside option. Scoops up off the deck.
Well, it looks like it's going to be called down here.
Yeah, I thought Kitaguchi might have saved the disc from the turf, but yeah, look, I think it's worth a discussion. Certainly was close call. Looks like it's staying with Kitaguchi.
Oh, great defense there to shut it down, but able to get it back.
Yeah, Ito does get there for the jump after a few different cuts. Has to go backwards to Suto. Pointing, waiting. Oh, goes for it inside. Actually had 2 players, they kind of got in each other's way, so a bit of a miscommunication there. Very unfortunate for Kappatai. And perhaps a call, maybe on the throw. So it looks like there's some chat from Ito's throw. Certainly was a high stall count. Had to kind of jam it in that inside space. The option was there. It's just too many receivers really getting each other's way.
Exactly. And this is a conversation now between Ito and Betson. Definitely you can see Wu Chan Fan there trying to help provide translation for his teammates. But kudos to the match person defense on the handler side, on the dump. Really making it hard for Ito to get the disc, and that forced that really sharp pass to the break side.
Yeah, they know that they'll be looking to Ito to anchor this offense, so not surprising that Manley has put plenty of defensive pressure on Ito. And Ryoga Ito has been playing for 10 years, aged 30 now, so certainly plenty of experience on his side.
And had played for the U19 national team for Japan, definitely has experience in the international level. And great to see him thriving in this tournament so far.
Surely that means 11 years, right? Because if he's 30 and he played under 19, he must be playing more than 10 years. I think maybe a bit of a miscalculation there. You know, Frisbee players good at Frisbee, maybe not so good at maths.
Looks like it's having a timely discussion about this. And probably it's a crucial one.
But also the time's ticking too, John. The longer this call goes on, I think the less time Kappatai have to make a comeback.
Exactly. So we'll see how this plays out. But let's see, the game advisor already providing his perspective.
Surely this is a contest. Like, they've been talking about this for some time now. I just want to see more frisbee, John.
So
yeah, so no surprises there. It's going to be a contested call.
So it's going to go back. Is it Suto that will have the disc? It will. She will have the disc, rather. And now they're talking about what was the stall count prior to the call.
I wouldn't be able to remember. It felt like so long ago.
Felt like eternity, if you'd ask me. But here we are. Suto.
It looks like they're going to tap it back in. And Mai Suto, 29-year-old, also says she's been playing for 10 years. So a few of these players, very similar age, probably have played together in multiple teams in the past. But Ito to Suto. Continue. That's a little too high. Oh, a late grab. Unsuccessful. And Manley come up with the disc.
Another turnover there. But sensing the urgency and why they had to make that laser pass towards the end zone. Just unsuccessful.
High grab. The female matching players for Manley getting to work. Wu and Kim. Wu now, she's been a very steady D-line handler for this Manley side, been very impressed. Betson now tells Wu that's where he wants it. Wu obliges. Very flat mark here by Kappatai, trying to prevent those hucks, making sure to force Manley to play this short game, hopefully get some opportunities in the underspace. And that's Jenna Kim, as I said, the female matching player is going to work this point for Manley.
Looks like a call was made prior to that pass. We saw some little bit of players stopping.
Must be a pick. She was suspiciously free.
So we'll go back.
So Betson on this near sideline. So it looks like they're trying to protect the inside, so having to squeeze it to a very narrow channel. Kim does get in the disc, but that one is too high. Tapped away by Suto. And well done to Kappatai to get possession back. Ito moves it up to Kitaguchi. And now, a layout D by Betson. Just in front of Ito. And he's going to call an injury because he fell pretty bloody hard for that one. But worth the effort to get possession for his team. And Betson has done a fantastic job on shutting down Ito, particularly on the dump cuts.
Correct. Actually, both of them are trading, as far as defense goes, doing a good job mirroring their movements. And Betson getting a one up there after that layout D.
Wu, backhand up to Kim on the doorstep. Can they maintain control? So Ito doing a good defensive job on the dump here. Shuts that one down, so Kim has to go a high release option to Jung. And that is a score. Manley with the small ball, quick movement. Very impressive. And they can smell the finish line. That was a break to go up 14-9. Will be game point. Kappatai now needing to work their way up to keep this game alive. Has to be said, it's 3:14 on the clock, John. Hard cap at 3:19, so only 5 minutes. I don't know if Kappatai have time to make a charge here. Look at that dump defense by Ito. Shut down that dump. But in the end, Jenna Kim, high stall, high release, does work out. Victor Jung, quick flip to the end zone to score. So even though the defensive effort each, I thought, was very impressive. Manly managed to work it out, take what they're given.
And strong showing from Manley here. Looks like just 1 point away to giving them their first win in this tournament. It'll be huge for them to wrap up their day 2 and see how they can perform in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I know it's always like what could have, should have been, right? But I do wonder if we didn't have that lightning delay and Kappatai had a bit more time to make a charge, you know, what that result would have been without. But, you know, in the end, you just got to play the same conditions. Both teams have to deal with a delay. You know, it's really difficult. You know, you're wet and you're feeling pretty cold because you're wet. And trying to get warmed up and back into this game is a tough assignment. But
Correct.
both teams having to deal with the same situation.
That's what would say in poker, you play with the hands you have, or dealt with, and live with the results. And so far, Manley is taking advantage of whatever hand they have. But a great showing from Capatai. This game was far, the score can be a little bit decisive. This was really a close match early on if you're just joining in.
Oh, that just goes in and out of the hands of Wu Sun Fan. Very unfortunate. High release, Manly. Now, opportunity to take the game for game point. And Tom moves it up to Wager. Wager around break to Sien. Sorry, that's the song. And now Manly move it up to the far sideline. Will this be it? Opting for the safe reset to Tam.
Looks like a pick is being called and stopped play momentarily.
So this might be it. Manly to get their first international win on the board. They can smell victory here.
It'll be huge for them. And if everything goes according to plan, Kappatai will fall to 1-2. And see how their pool will develop, as it looks like, just checking on the standings, looks like the game's ongoing. Freak Show might run away against Wisby, going back here to play.
So Wazer now with disc in hand. Stall count rising, but Tom back in the dump set. Oh, that one's a high disc. Kappatai managed to swat it away. Can they get a quick score here? They have only got, 1 or 2 minutes left here until hard cap, but they're taking their time walking up to the disc. I don't see any way, unfortunately, for Kappatai to get up before time runs out. But still, want to hold their heads up high. You never know, sometimes with these tight pools, the score differential can make a difference. I'm sure that Manly are preventing those huck options at the moment. They don't want a quick score to happen. They're quite happy for time to run out. So an undercut approaches. Sutto. A wake up provided, doesn't like that option. So a little forward dump into the pocket. Oh no. Looks around. A nice lefty flick around and the continue goes on. Kappatai motioning where she wants to place. Oh no, that dump was bobbled. Little bit too high, little bit too hot to handle. So Manly move it up, Fleming, and there is a call.
We'll go back to the initial thrower from Manley. So time running out for Kappatai.
I think Manly would definitely like to score cap this one. Nice round 15 always looks good. And like you said, with the tight games, sometimes with the score differentials, you know, any extra point can count.
Exactly.
So Tam to Song. Oh, and that's a single-handed, very nice grab by Ways Up. Sorry, Tan. To Tam. To Song. So this Tam to Song connection working very consistently. And Tam again. Now Wazer gets involved. And a nice gainer. So working through those undercuts through to Fleming. Nice and patient. So just settling back to Tam, the axis handler. His points, once a long, goes a short. Again through to Song. Very reliable this point. Now they make some gains to Fenga.
You can see the fatigue setting in for Kappatai. Just really mainly.
And that's the score and the win. Nathaniel Tan finishing off with a nice goal from Song. Hannah Song working beautifully this point in tandem with Tam. And Manley getting the first international win on the board. Be very pleased with the results. Kappatai, valiant effort and very interesting game with momentum swings, some long grindy points. Ultimately, Manley pulling away in the last patch, making sure they had a nice buffer before the lightning delay, and coming out firing again after that break.
Great showing from Manley in terms of just answering the call before the first half and just running with the momentum there, and they just never look back as far as scoring and continuously breaking against Capatai, and that gives him their first win here. And for Capatai, down 1-2, still has a couple of games. Interesting take on their pool, and to definitely see how they can progress after this tough loss against Manley.
Yeah, and so there we have it. That wraps up game number 3 of day 2. So the pool starting to kind of take shape, and the top really differentiating themselves at the moment. Make sure you stay tuned on the World Flying Disc Federation YouTube channel. We've got plenty more action coming your way with the next game, Disc Knights from Singapore versus Gajah from Singapore. So a bit of a intercity clash there in the Opens division. Stay tuned. Avril Tam, Jonathan Santos.